Am I the asshole? For telling my dad that if his wife censors what I read I won't visit him anymore? My dad's parental rights were terminated due to abandonment. Didn't pay child support and didn't contact me for over a year, telling us he didn't want me to see him at his worst alcoholism. He said he's start trying now though. Already started going to alcohol rehab, so my mom started taking me to visit him during the weekends. At first it was going fine. A little bit awkward getting to know each other again. Then my dad's new wife and I had an argument. On that day mom had decided that I should spend the night at dad's place. I brought a book with me. My dad's wife saw it and told me I should not read that book since the protagonist is bisexual and it pushes LGBT stuff. If it's relevant, it's book 2 of the Trials of Apollo series. I told her she can't dictate what I read since I'm not a kid and she's not my mom, and dad quickly jumped to her defense. He said she is still his wife, telling me I shouldn't be rude to her in her home. So I told him fine. I'm not staying then. And I left and went home. Mom said I don't have to go back there if I don't want to, so I told my dad when he called later on that if he doesn't talk to his wife and tell her she can't censor what I read, I won't be returning. He said what I said was threatening him. Not the asshole. She's not your mom, and he lost his legal rights. He said what I said was threatening him. Don't let him play the victim. This isn't a threat as no harm will come to him regardless of the outcome. His wife is displaying bigoted behavior, stick to your guns. All she has to do is say nothing about your book. Should be easy enough. Not the asshole your father abandoned you. Sounds like it's time to reciprocate. Your dad's wife has absolutely no rights or say in this matter. Stay with mom and enjoy your book. You're 16. If you were 11 and understood the vocabulary in the book, I'd say the same thing. It's a book. No one has the right to put braces on your brain. Not the asshole. Some 16-year-olds go to college. So, yes. You most certainly are entitled to select your own leisure reading material. Catcher in the Rye, Lord of the Flies and Song of Solomon are typical required reading for high school sophomores. What on earth does your father's wife think you should be reading? Dr. Seuss? Not the asshole. You did nothing wrong. He has no parental rights and she has less than none. This is literally like me trying to tell you what you can read. Not the asshole. Come on, that's not a threat, it's a promise. Apparently he's willing to let his wife make his parenting choices, and she's choosing to be the evil stepmother. I hesitate to put it this way, but he's abandoning you for the second time. You never signed up to have a new and overly restrictive mother. You're well justified to stand your ground. Not the asshole. Dad and his wife doesn't need to be in your life if they're that dumb. Also ask her, how come with an overabundance of straight books and media for however long it's been, there are still gay people? Almost like sexuality isn't influenced by any kind of medium. Not the asshole. Threatening him? No. Not even close. Not the asshole. Your dad completely blew it. What a ridiculous hill for him to die on. Someone barely older than you trying to decide what books are appropriate? Laughable. Not the asshole. She literally has no right to tell you what you read, but seems like he made his choice and it's her. This isn't a threat. It's a choice. You choose to allow me to read what I want to, or you choose to not have me come over. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, bud. She clearly has a homophobia problem, but that's not your problem. I don't think your response was rude at all. You are correct, she is in no way your parent and has no right trying to dictate what you read. I'm proud of you for reading and I'm proud of you for setting your own boundaries, even though they feel complicated sometimes. Damn, dear old dad didn't even try, did he? Nor not the asshole op, you're right, she can't dictate what you can't read, and if dad thinks she can, you don't need to visit him. You gave dad a chance and he royally blew it. Not the asshole. Don't go back. She's shown you what she thinks of LGBTQ people and likely will not change. I understand wanting to spend time with your dad. Maybe you can do that somewhere else. Go for a walk, go to the museum, go to a movie. You can spend time together, get to know each other and rebuild a relationship if that's what you're interested in doing. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Not the asshole. I could understand concern if you were reading like Sarah J. Maas or something, but Trials of Apollo? That's perfectly age-appropriate and really good. I hope you're enjoying the series. Dad's wife is just a bigot. Not the asshole. That's awful. At least you have one good parent. Hug your mom tight. I can't put into words how lucky you are to have her. Not the asshole. Your father is choosing to nuke your relationship again over pandering to a homophobe. Inexcusable. Not the asshole. Even if he hadn't abounded you, he has no right to refuse your reading. Book banning is fascist. Not the asshole. Your dad needs to recognize he isn't a parent anymore, and even if he was, even a parent can't dictate what a teen can read. Never mind some random lady dad married. She needs to be reminded what place she has in your life, as in non-existent. Just like her authority. Not the asshole. You're not threatening him, you're setting a boundary. If she's going to censor what you read, you won't go over there anymore. Cause and effect. Not the asshole. This tentative reunification is not something he has a right to. You are absolutely allowed to set reasonable boundaries, and I will not visit if my reading will be censored or censored is a very reasonable boundary. I would have a trace of sympathy for her position if we were talking about 50 Shades of Grey or Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty trilogy, but this series is perfectly age-appropriate. Not the asshole. I am a severe bibliomaniac and would flat out MR anyone who tried to censor my books. I read stuff that was way more inappropriate at a younger age than you. I haven't read that one yet, but unless it has a very descriptive orgy I am not going to say anything. If it does, I would say something about how you might not want to read that section and why. Give a short lecture about fantasy versus real life. If you have questions, please ask an adult, not another teen. Not the asshole. You did nothing wrong. Not the asshole. They can't tell you what to read and you don't have any obligation to visit. Not the asshole at all. I could read at an adult level by the time I was 8 or 9, and I picked up everything in the house. Read Pet Sematary in one night when I was 9. She sounds ignorant, and if your dad wants a relationship with you, he needs to check her real quick. No, Dad. It isn't a threat. It is a boundary. I will read what I want to read without getting lambasted for it. I will not have my books censored as I am not a young child. If that is unacceptable to you, then I will not visit your home. We will need to meet elsewhere. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He chose his gay-hating young wife over you and also common decency. Hope the sex is worth it to him. Your father abandoned any parental authority when he abandoned you and refused to pay child support. His new wife certainly doesn't have any parental authority over you. So not the asshole for challenging them. To be honest, it sounds like your father's new wife engineered this deliberately to further drive a wedge between you. She may think that your father needs to completely break with his past to remain sober, or she may simply see you as a challenge to her control over your father. Either way, even if you were to give on the issue of book censorship, some other issue would be created until you reached the point that you had to leave. Not the asshole. She's 28 years old and married to a 40-years-old alcoholic who abandoned his kid and disapproves of a book because there's a bisexual character in it. Both her and your father can go pound sand. Easy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's worried that Apollo Lester, a Greek god, might be bisexual. Goodness, if she learns anything else about Greek mythology she may faint, and gods help us all if she reads Oedipus.